Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Diligent Doc. Thanks for joining me again. I know it's been quite a hiatus since I've been here on the channel. And of course, life happens and things get in the way of creating videos for you guys. So I'm excited to start back into it. Actually, my daughter saw me setting up earlier today and she goes, yes. So she's excited too, even though she's not allowed to be in here when I'm recording these videos. So what have I been up to for the past 6 or so months since I last came out with a video? Well, a lot has happened. You know, we've gone through all the holidays in the winter time. We've had 2 birthdays, including my own, New Year's, and the start of the new year is always very hectic and lots of things are going on at the same time, with especially starting to focus on New Year's resolutions, if that's something that you like to do, or just trying to focus on creating better habits and changes from the start of the year moving forward. So part of the delay, unfortunately, was that my father-in-law, who's very close to us and who lives with us and for the past several years, unfortunately got quite ill and passed away in March, and he was overseas. So that was and still is a very difficult transition. It was only a few weeks ago. So just dealing with all of that has been obviously inappropriately drawing much of our attention. And we're still working through all that and will be for quite some time. He was an integral part of all of our lives. So that's been difficult to deal with. And that also has gotten me thinking a lot about the things that I'm focusing on in life and making sure that I still continue to try to get a message out there of how to keep working towards a betterment in your own life, keep working towards making yourself better each day, because you never know how much time you have on this earth, and you always want to, in my opinion, try to make the most of it wherever you possibly can. I've also found that being able to fall back on my habits has been instrumental in keeping me sane throughout this journey, keeping me sane throughout the last 4 to 6 weeks, honestly, because without my habits, without my routines, I probably would have just been falling apart. And as a mom and as a wife and as someone who works a full-time job, I simply don't have the luxury of just falling apart. So in order to keep going and to keep putting one foot in front of the other, relying on the routines that I have built has been absolutely crucial to making sure that I can and do keep going, not just for myself, but for the sake of making sure my family is okay. And I apologize for the voice. The allergy season is in full force right now. So everything's in the air, and luckily I'm recording this inside and outside. Otherwise, you probably just see a green film on me right now. So jumping right into today's topic, which is kind of different from what I've focused on in previous videos, but a little bit similar as far as incorporating diligence and habits and routines into your daily life. And that goes along with my health and fitness journey over the past 8 to 9 years. And so it's been a very long time coming. And like the word implies, it's a journey. There is no end. There is only just continual progress and continual change. And I wanted to talk about how I had previously not known a single thing about nutrition or exercise or the science of nutrition and living a healthy lifestyle. And like many women, and probably men out there too, I started my nutrition and fitness journey with the intention and the goal of just simply losing weight. You know, I think that's on everybody's mind at all times, unfortunate as it is in society, that's the main focus of what people think is healthy, is to just lose weight, always be on a diet, always crash diet. And I just, over the years, have learned that that's just not a feasible or a sustainable lifestyle. And that's not something that I always want to be focusing on. You know, I want to be at a place where I'm just good with where I am for a long, long time. And with that being said, my journey did start off that way. You know, I was trying to lose the extra pounds that I had put on in medical residency. And I stumbled upon, throughout all of my online research, if you could call it that, the paleo diet. So a lot of people who know me know that I did eat the paleo diet for quite some time. I would say at least 2 years, before I got pregnant with my second daughter. And it actually worked really well for me. I did lose weight that I wanted to lose. I felt energetic. I had eliminated a lot of things from my diet though, like gluten and dairy for the most part, but I was still eating some things like beans, which the paleo diet does not include. Overall, it just focused on a much healthier lifestyle, a much healthier diet where you're eating a lot of whole foods, including meats, fish, and plant foods, and trying to cut out things or unhealthy processed foods from the diet. So overall, I felt like it was beneficial for me, but at the end of the day, in retrospect, it was quite restrictive. So I couldn't maintain it. Once I got pregnant with my second child, it just all went out the window. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat what I wanna eat. I'm gonna enjoy this process. And that's what I did. And then after my second child was born, I was a lot more active than I had been in a long time, simply because we were living in a different city, which was Charleston. I was walking a ton around the medical campuses. I was exercising often. I had time to exercise in the morning before my day started, and it wasn't at 5 o'clock in the morning like it is often now, but it was more like 7 o'clock in the morning. So a lot of things were different. I was much more active. We were always out and about enjoying the city of Charleston, and I prepped most of my meals and we ate pretty healthy while we stayed there, even though we did eat out here and there, to enjoy the good food that they have to offer. But overall, my lifestyle just supported me being active most of the time, so I think that was very helpful. Then we moved to the Atlanta area and I got pregnant with my third child, and then the pandemic was here after she was born. So there was a lot of time spent on maternity leave right after the pandemic started. And in the first year or so while I was trying to breastfeed, I was not really focused on trying to lose any weight. I was actually increasing my calorie intake, sometimes eating an avocado a day with my salads just to boost the fat and the calorie intake so that I had good milk supply. And I think it paid off quite well. For those of you who have seen my youngest when she was a baby, she was pretty chunky. So I felt quite proud of that. I wasn't trying to lose anything in that first year or so after she was born. And then once she quit breastfeeding and I was ready to start feeling like myself again and get back to feeling comfortable in my skin, which I hadn't felt in a good 2 years, and I was ready to just jump back into continuing my health journey. And that's not to say I quit exercising or anything. I did exercise all throughout my pregnancies, postpartum, in moderation initially, and then ramped it up as I was able to physically get stronger. So exercise has always been and remains a consistent part of my lifestyle, but the nutrition aspect is what I really needed to hone down onto. So that's when I decided to try to hire a nutritionist just to kind of look at what I was doing and give me some kind of guidance, because I was tired of just guessing. I'm into science, hence why I went to medical school. I like concrete information, and I felt like along the way I was just doing a lot of guesswork, and I didn't know what were the appropriate macros I needed or the calories I needed, and all the different calculators online were giving me different numbers for what my goals were. So I didn't want to just guess and get it wrong and waste time. So I decided, okay, I'm just gonna put in this pretty small, it's a pretty small investment to hire a nutrition coach or a nutritionist for a short amount of time just to help guide me on what to do and how to eat. So I did that for a little bit, and I felt that I made some progress, but not enough progress as I would like, and I just didn't feel very good in my body. I was eating a lot of meat. I was eating that to try to increase my protein, and I just felt very weighed down and sluggish, and I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see as quickly as I wanted. Which, we all want to see quick results, and it's not always quick, but I want to have reassurance that the process I'm undertaking is going to give me results, even if it's not 4 weeks, even if it's 10 weeks or 12 weeks. I just wanted to have some kind of progress along the way that I was not seeing. I even tried intermittent fasting for all a month, and I bit my teeth and struggled through it, and I hated every minute because I love my morning breakfast. I absolutely love having pretty much the same thing every morning, almost every day, but having to skip that and feel hungry and feel irritable, and I ended up saying, okay, this is not for me. I can't sustain this forever. For some people, intermittent fasting works really well and they love it, and I think that's great for them, but it was good for them and not for me. So I continued on. We ended up going on vacation, and then I did a lot of looking online and especially YouTube to try to figure out what would be the best way for me to truly reach my goals and do it in a healthful, sustainable way. And I suppose the algorithms somehow figure out what I'm trying to find, and they sent me videos or targeted videos towards me about veganism or about plant-based eating or something called the starch solution. And I thought that was interesting, because normally you hear all the time starches are quote bad, carbs are bad. And I actually ate that way for a long time when I ate paleo, where I restricted my carbohydrate intake unless it was in the form of vegetables quite a bit. So I thought, okay, well, let me just learn more about it, see what these people have to say. So I started watching lots and lots of videos about the starch solution and plant-based eating, and I just got more and more into finding different podcasts and videos about plant-based nutrition. And I thought, okay, this actually has a lot of science backing up the benefits for your health and longevity, and also from weight control, because you're eating a lot of high fiber micronutrients in plants, fruits, whole foods, grains, legumes, and lentils and things like that that have tons of nutrients and have all the nutrients that you really need. Aside from B12, however, even they're saying now with animal protein eaters that they need to supplement B12, because where do the animals get B12 from? From the grass and the vegetables that they eat, which is getting more and more depleted. So even meat eaters tend to be B12 deficient sometimes. So definitely vegetarians or vegans need to be supplementing B12 too. But other than that, they are getting all of the nutrients that they need, just like anyone else would, as long as they're eating a full, complete, nutritious, whole foods diet. So I said, okay, once we come back from vacation, and this was back in the summer of 2022, I'm going to jump in and try this. I wanted to really give it a shot and see what happened. Well, within 3 months, I shed 12 pounds like that, and it was not a struggle. I always felt satiated, I always felt full, and that's because of the volume of the food that I like to eat, and it's all plants and it's a lot of fiber. And I was able to eat starches, rice and potatoes and things like that without feeling guilty about it. So I found great success doing that, and I have kept it up, I would say 90% since then. For instance, since the beginning of 2024, I've had meat probably 3 or 4 times total. And I have a little bit of dairy here and there, but I really try to limit that because it does cause me some bloating and other symptoms, and I just don't like the way it makes me feel. And I think it does flare up my allergy symptoms when I eat dairy. So I'm still trying hard to work on maximizing my nutrition and fitness so that I can continue to hopefully live a long and healthy life, and one that's not just long and debilitated or decrepit, but one that is allowing me to thrive and be active and do the things I want to do, go the places that I want to go, and feel like I have the energy to keep up and do all the things that I want to do. So my mindset has shifted dramatically since I started this journey 8-9 years ago, with simply the focus of losing weight, now to maintaining a healthy body size and trying to be globally as healthy as I possibly can. And a lot of that also ties into prevention and taking a preventative stance on disease, so that you're not just trying to catch up and treat something once you get it, but rather trying to prevent it from happening with nutrition, with good food before it happens. So as they used to say, and it still stands true, food is medicine and you are what you eat. So I'm a firm believer in both of those things, in both of those statements. So that's kind of where I'm at in my journey right now. And I'm sure things will continually change and evolve, but I feel like I'm at a good place at this time with how I'm eating, what I'm eating, and how my mindset around food is. Food is not a punishment, and it's not a burden or something I have to be afraid of, and it's not at all any of those things for me. It is a way to nourish myself, to feel good about myself, to fuel myself for the activities that I need and want to do. This is the example that I try to set for my children as well, who all happen to be girls, but even if they were boys, I would want to set the same example, that I know mom is not always trying to diet or lose weight. Mom is trying to eat healthfully, get in her greens, get in her fruits and vegetables, get in her whole grains, grains, fuel myself for the workouts that they see me doing all the time. So that's how I approach talking to them about food and nutrition. So I hope this video was helpful for you, and I'm excited again, like I said, to be jumping back into creating videos. I have lots of different topics and things I'd like to talk about, so I hope I'll see you in the next video. And if you want to check out some of my previous ones, I'll link them here. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.